Good evening, Nick Inman from VolumeProfileTrader.com on Monday, August 13th, beginning of the week. Market makes new highs for the day and continues this trickle up effect that, the gift that keeps on giving, but only if you buy on the weakness. And that's the key is you buy on the weakness and you've been paid off with the trade to the upside. Now, I don't think, eventually this is going to end. Will it end with the market just, exploding another, 15, 20, 25 S&P points to the upside? It could. There's no reason why it couldn't, but it would probably do one of those things where it trade up and then have some type of retracement, basically like a short-term blow off top. We'll have to wait and see. Everyone's looking for this kind of pullback to try to get involved, but when everyone's waiting for that, then it usually doesn't happen. So I think that you continue this wait and see approach. We do have some news out tomorrow that should move the market some, so that should be good. We'll have to wait and see though. NASDAQ new highs, not relative to year-to-date highs, but new highs relative to this recent move. One thing I want to point out is this point of control, 2541 or so. It was down here at 2316 not too long ago. Then you get basically price action, trading around, market auctions up and down, point of control forms, and you can see that point of control at 25, let's call it 2540, basically was a great buying zone 2 times, 3 times in a row before the market exploded to the upside. So I just wanted to point that out. Dow didn't make new highs today, but you have this, basically, I guess you could say a potential inverse head and shoulders that you could be looking at. And as far as a potential move, you'd be looking at the head, the bottom of the head, call it 12,000, and the top 13,200, let's call it. So you'd be looking for a 1,200 point move to the upside. So if we do get a dip down towards 12,800, 12,900, I think that you look to be a buyer if the buyers come in. All right, the VIX continues to tumble. Just be aware of that and realize that the complacency is there, and the likelihood for a pullback is very possible. I have to say one thing I did get involved in today to the short side was Freeport-McMoRan. Reason being, well, the point of control was this 36.25 level or so, and then we had a nice reversal bar off of that level, trickled down down to these levels. Now we have basically a high volume area here. We'll have to wait and see if this holds. The trend may stay intact, and we may push back up towards 36. We'll just have to wait and see. But if we break these lows, 35.30 or so, push down towards 34.66, 34.35 or so, then all of a sudden the 36 by 34 put spreads that I bought expiring in September will be looking pretty juicy. They are in slight profit mode right now. Nothing too fancy about it. I just wanted to point that out. You look at, and I picked SPY. I guess I'll go to S&P futures. You look at what's been going on, and every dip has been a buying opportunity, and we got it again today. Nothing's changed, and you want to stick with that theme until it no longer works. And when it no longer works, you'll know, and you'll get an opportunity one way or the other. But just stick with it. Like Apple, making new highs, tight consolidation, and then a breakout to the upside. This is why you just buy the weakness. For example, I missed these lows here on Apple. I stayed involved. I still had a small position in Apple, even from the dump it took during earnings. My cost basis was around 590, maybe 600, something like that at the time. Price gaps up, and then on this weakness here, I bought more Apple. And my expectations were it was going to hold this high volume area here from July and look to trade higher. And sure enough, it did just that. So I'm being paid, for having taken that risk. But it's just one of those things that you look for. You get the complete reversal. Missed it off the lows. Should have had this trade, but didn't. And you see a nice U-turn to the upside. That's what you're kind of looking for. All right, gold. Kind of falling off here, and I tweeted out today, be careful. You want to be protected. However, the volume was relatively light today, so I wouldn't put too much into it, but you are getting some reversal off of these levels, and you want to be aware of that. This is clearly the resistance up towards 1630 or so, so be careful, and don't be overexposed to the long side on gold if it starts to come in. Similarly, with silver, didn't break out. This level still resistance. These swing highs, basically anything above 28 is an opportunity to sell right now. Until it's not, and you'll know that when it breaks out, you get a clean break and it keeps going. But you can see you have two definite high volume areas that have formed, 28 or so up to 2850, 2840, and then from 2750 or so down to 27 even. And you can see those levels have been fairly good job of catching the highs and lows. Not so much on the downside here, but you can see, if you were a buyer in that zone, you're making money. And I think the most important part of this is the last time it touched these levels, the bottom end of this high volume area, was good for a nice trade to the upside. Even here, when it gapped up, it was good for a nice trade to the upside. Whereas here, it was a little more messy. You had more definitive lows here, especially with this big bar on Friday, and you had to push to the upside. So I just wanted to point that out. I guess we'll go to the euro. Okay, the euro, continues to do its thing, holding above these levels. That's the level you want it to hold, and then you eventually want to see it go test 125. And if it does that, equities will rally, and that's an important phenomenon. And likewise, dollar selling off from these highs. That's what you would want to see. So your next test on the dollar is 81.50 or so on the downside. If it can break these levels, looks like trends is starting to reverse. Selling strength is working right now, and that's what's important. So just be careful. Realize that the market can easily, take a leg down, but what you want to be looking for is, are they buying weakness or are they selling strength? And right now, the market players are continuing to buy weakness, and that's what you want to be a part of. So take care, have a good night, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.